Welcome to our Football Fever, and it's our daily segment show, breaking news that we do every day with Football Fever. And I'm your host, Chubbo, and we're excited because the Subway Socceroos tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, have a chance to continue their march to direct qualification into the World Cup of 2026, which will be held, of course, at Canada, Mexico, and the United States of America. The Socceroos currently sit on third spot with 3 games with 3 games remaining. So a win against China with the two big guns left, Saudi Arabia and Japan. But if Australia can stay in that second spot, it would mean direct qualification to the World Cup, which would be a huge boost for this game economically and a huge boost for the football in this country overall, because as we know, it hasn't been smooth sailing once Graham Arnold stepped away from the job and the Socceroos were struggling at one stage in this group. But Tony Popovich has slowly, with his assistant Paul Ocon, have steadied the ship, and the Socceroos now find themselves in that second spot with playing the last team in the league table tomorrow, China Republic. It's a huge opportunity to stay in that second spot and get closer, put one footstep closer to that World Cup in 2026 to be held in Canada, USA, and Mexico. It's not all smooth sailing in the squad for the Socceroos. There has been some changes, as we know. Adam Taggart of Perth Glory, he would not make the trip to Handsquare after being subbed off at half time during Australia's win over Indonesia, while Cassini Jelinek of Portsmouth will return to the United Kingdom following an injury at training. That has opened the door for veteran 34-year-old striker Mitchell Duke of FC Machina. He will join the Subway Socceroos camp in China as the replacement. Now, let's have a look at this scenario a little bit closer for the Socceroos and what it means for our chances for the 2026 World Cup. So, just to quickly explain, there's 3 matches remaining, so we can, like I said, stay in second position. We'll qualify directly for the World Cup. If Australia fails to qualify directly for the World Cup, we'll go via the third spot. They need to finish either third or fourth to join, third or fourth to gain progression to the fourth round. So currently the ladder, as it looks, at Japan played 7 games, they're on 19. Australia's played 7, we're on 10. Saudi Arabia are on third, they're on 9 points. Indonesia are on fourth on 6 points. Bahrain are on fifth on 6 points. And of course, China Republic, who we face tomorrow night, they're in the last position on 6 points. So, what does Australia need to reach the World Cup? Well, Australia has 3 matches left. We play Japan at home. Sorry, we play China away, Japan at home, and Saudi Arabia away. With everyone to play 3 games each, Australia needs to remain in second to qualify directly for the World Cup. Victory against bottom place China is arguably a must win, and the other two teams to come in is Japan and Saudi Arabia. Now, the schedule for those games, I'll just bring them up as well, as we could see. Yes, match day 9 will be on the 5th of June, a huge one where the Socceroos will be playing Japan at Optus Stadium in Perth. And match day 10, that will be announced on the 10th of June when we will be taking on Saudi Arabia. Out of the 3 groups of the 6 teams in the AFC third round of World Cup qualifying, the top 2 in each group will proceed to the 2026 tournament. Like I said, the third and fourth place teams from each group in the third round will proceed to the fourth round, where 2 direct 2026 FIFA World Cup spots are available. This will involve 2 groups of 3 teams, with teams playing each other once at a centralised venue. The winner of each group will qualify for the 2026 World Cup and see their 8 direct slots utilised. The 2 runners up in each group from the fourth round will then compete against each other in a 2-leg playoff to decide Asia's representative in the Interconfederation playoff. The Intercontinental playoff will see the 6 nations compete for 2 World Cup spots, featuring the AFC CAF, the CONMEBOL, the AFC, and 2 from CONCACAF. Each of the 6 nations will be seeded. The 4 lower seed nations will play off straight knockout matches, with the 2 winners meeting in the top 2 seed nations for a spot at the World Cup. So quite simple. Australia needs to finish in the top 2 to get direct qualification. Otherwise, if we do finish third or fourth, we'll go in a playoff from each group in the third round. And we'll go into two different groups and we'll play at a centralized venue to see if we can qualify to the World Cup by winning those group. But let's hope that we can beat China tomorrow night. And then we've got the two big games with Japan and Saudi Arabia, especially Japan at home in Perth will be a cracker. So we're all excited. Tony Popovich and Paul Aiken, like I said, have steadied the ship. Australia looked good the other night. I think they can get the job in China, and I think it will get us much step closer to direct qualification for the World Cup. So we'll buckle our seats once again, 10 p.m. tomorrow night, and hopefully we'll see our Subway Socceroos just see like they dismantled Indonesia. Hopefully they can do the same to China. Let's turn our attention now quickly to what's happening in some of headlines overseas. There were some big UEFA Nation League games overnight. We've seen Germany survive an Italy scare to make the Nations League semi-final. Also, Portugal defeated Denmark in extra time to reach the Nations League semi-final. So Portugal will take on Germany. Spain edged Netherlands on penalty to set up a mouth-watering tie semi-final against France in the Nations League semi-final. That was a very interesting penalty shootout this morning. Also, the Republic of Ireland saw off Bulgaria to preserve their Nation League status. So that was the Nations League. The other major stories making headlines is that Liverpool's Premier League could be cut as Arsenal face or make a break week in the title race. We know as the title race continues, Arsenal are playing before Liverpool, so they can actually put some more pressure on Liverpool and reduce the 12-point gap to 9 points before Liverpool have the big game at home at Anfield, a mouth-watering tie against their blue neighbours in Everton. In other news, managing Chelsea as Isk signs and Hussein transfer agreed as Sancho leaves. We heard about that last week. I think I broke those news. And Real Madrid could repeat. This is big news for Liverpool. So Real Madrid, as we know, they're eyeing TAA. They're also now, if you believe Spanish reports and newspapers, they're also eyeing Virgil van Dijk, the captain of Liverpool. It's very hard to believe as a Liverpool fan that we've got to this position at this late in the window, late in the summer window as well, and end of the season that TAA, Virgil van Dijk, and Mohamed Salah haven't been tied down. And while they haven't been tied down to any windows, any contracts, these kinds of stories will keep on breaking. So we'll follow that much more closely in the next couple of days. I just can't. I believe that Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah at the end eventually will put pen to paper at Liverpool. I really believe that. But as for TAA, I really believe the door's opening, and I really believe he'll be joining Real Madrid. Anyway, that's pretty much the most of the news overnight. Like I said, we'll be all ready and we'll be back with the daily breaking news tomorrow. Have a look at what's making the world of football. But like I said, we're all pumped for the Subway Socceroos in a huge counter with China Republic tomorrow night. That's all. That's all out for me in Football Fever and daily breaking news today.